And what up everybody, I'm Magic here. Welcome to part 10 to What If Deku Was Iron Man. And now let's get to the intro.
I'm not the one you wanna fuck with. Late nights messing up my sleep, so I'm flustered. Taking out aggression with my pen because I trust it. Right in front of get myself a lamb color cuss for the game. Leave him hanging by his chain. Click bang, feeling rage, feeling fire in my brain, feel insane. And it's slowly feeling flames, moving fast from my brain, bringing more. Still, no glory.
Okay guys, last time we left off, it was halfway into the movie, and now let's start. So, they're outside of the building, and they're actually fighting all the robots that have been activated because of the hacking or whatever. But yeah, this is the moment where Uraraka was actually floating Deku and all that stuff towards the tower. But then, instead of doing that, Deku just plugs in this, or finds this like plug or whatever inside this wall or socket and connects his computer to it. Something what Denki did, I think that's his name, Denki? No, never mind. Something that Denki did in Boruto, where he was like sealing up all the walls and stuff. I think that's what his name, the nerd kid. But yeah, he does that and he connects it to his laptop or whatever, or his watch, and then he tells Jarvis to completely stop the alarm or warning system and stuff like that. So he does that. It takes like 10 seconds, and then Uraraka was just like saving or protecting or blocking Deku from the robots, and then Bakugo comes in to save her and Deku, and he's like, okay, you losers, get out of here. And Deku completely deactivates everything. Everything gets shut down and returned back to normal. And then they just move up to the tower without getting interrupted. Then they move up to the tower. Then they see Melissa's father, and Steve is also with them. Melissa's father just talking about what he's done and all that stuff, that he's given the quirk enhancement thing that he made for All Might, because remember, his quirk levels were dropping really significantly. I can't say that word, but yeah, significantly, and he wanted to do something to improve his quirk. But eventually the villain ended up getting that, who All For One sent with the magnetic quirk, who can control metal and all that stuff. So he ended up getting the quirk enhancement, and then he stole it from him, David, and then he started using and attacking all that stuff. He attacked David so he can't create another one to help All Might or whatever. But then Deku, Steve, and Melissa get there. Melissa basically saves her father and protects her. He's like, are you okay? Checking for any injuries. Then Deku and Steve get there. He's like, okay, this guy has metal bending quirk. Okay, I'm not fighting this. Okay, good luck, Steve. I'm getting out of here. Because the reason why he's doing this is he can completely crush his the arc reactor inside of him and make it explode, and the power inside of the arc reactor is so large that it can create like 10 times or maybe even 100 times stronger explosion than a nuclear explosion. And maybe I don't really know that, but I'm just making this stuff up. But yeah, it's so powerful that if he's near that, and the villain could do that if he just wanted to like suicide or something. But he's like, okay, I am not safe here. I would think I would do more damage by just being here and existing here than you fighting them and me fighting them together. Because first of all, I can't use my suits, and the second of all, I'm literally a time bomb right now. So see ya, bye. And he just goes downstairs, and he's like, okay, there must be a way that I can help this guys. So he's like, okay, let's see, send in my drones. He's sending a message to his computer, and then he's like, okay, send in all those drones, those fighter pilot drones. And it's also the same drones that it's in the Spider-Man movie. So the illusion drones, those are also the ones there, but they're not illusion drones. They just have like really high-tech weapons on them. So Steve and All Might have their moment, just like how Deku and All Might had their moment. And I think Todoroki and all those guys were helping them. I think Deku would do some stuff like with some drones and all that stuff, but mostly just making his drone pick up some rubble and all that stuff to save a lot of people. So yeah, the movie ends basically. Everybody's like all happy. Deku and All Might get saved, and also David notices that Deku is really similar to All Might when he was in his younger days. So he's like, this kid might be the future, so I'm gonna support him. And so yeah, Steve and Melissa have their talk and whatever not, and Deku and Melissa also have their talk. It's like, okay, we're going, see ya. And they fly over back to Japan into the UA classes, and now it is, let's see, the forest training camp. So the forest training camp starts, let's say, after 2 weeks or so, and they get ready, they pack up everything, they're going for the bus ride, and everybody's really excited because they think they're gonna have a lot, or a really good and fun time. Or they are gonna train, they know that, but the only reason they were running back into the bus is because they didn't want to go through that forest, so they're training or whatever. But yeah, they get outside, they see this black car, and then the two members of the Wild Wild Pussycats come out to introduce them, and yeah, so they talk about, okay, now let's start your training. He's like, wait, what? And then Pixie Bub just jumps over all of them and then creates a earth avalanche, sweeping all of them down to the Beast Forest. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, the Beast Forest. And they just fall in front of the Beast Forest. Mineta has to pee again because remember, it's Mineta. And Deku ends up saving him. Not Deku, Steve ends up saving him because he has one for all this time. So now this time it's just like, okay, you guys have fun. And he just activates his suit and just flies over the forest. He's like, I don't really care with you guys. I mean, I'm probably not that useful. So I think the entire class would make it in the same exact time they did in the actual story. I would say faster because Deku is there. I think Team A, or Ida, Steve, Bakugo, and Todoroki teaming up, I think they would do a better job because they're stronger this time. So yeah. And Steve has like 2 quirks, so he has one for all and his like boomerang quirk, but it doesn't really matter that much. So yeah, but yeah, Deku just flies over and Baku's like, oh, what the hell. And I think Baku would try to fly over, but he's like, he doesn't want to skip on beating these like mud monsters with his explosion. So he's like, man, I'd rather just follow Deku, or should I just like release my anger on these guys? It's like, okay, I'll release my anger on these guys. So yeah, Deku gets there and he sees the other 2 Pixie Bubs, or no, what am I saying? The Wild Wild Pussycat members, the Tiger Pussycat, and the other one that has the search quirk. I forgot her name. I never knew her name actually. But yeah, they meet her. It's like, oh, we didn't expect you to fly over here. Who are you? And he's like, and he just de-transformed or deactivates his suit. And he's like, oh, Iron Man. Yeah, of course. Why did I say that? They of course know him because he's Iron Man. And then after like 30 minutes, the other 2 Wild Wild Pussycats come in, and it's like, oh, seems like already there's someone here. He's like, yeah, I expected as much. It's Tony. Of course he flew over. And then I would think they like arrived 30 minutes early. Let's say 30 minutes early than the canon, so they're stronger. So that means they're going to be stronger in the future timelines. So yeah, they get there, they get introduced and all that. Steve would be the one who actually goes up to Koda and tries to talk to him, but then he would also get punched in the balls. So he's like, he's in Deku's place basically. Oh, and if you guys are wondering, my first what if Asta what if is gonna be coming out right after this video. This is my first Black Clover what if, so yeah, watch out for that one. And the person who actually told me to do a Black Clover what if, I'm not doing the same one that he told me, or if you're actually watching, I'm not doing the same one that you told me. It's a different one that I actually came up with while I was thinking of that idea. So I found this one more exciting, so I wanted to do this one first. I might do the other one, I don't know, but yeah, whatever. But let's go. So everybody would basically eat dinner and all that stuff, and they will have that bath moment, and yeah, then they will start training again. They will find out that their quirks haven't really developed that much, only a little bit because they tested Baku and all that stuff. So they're like, their quirks haven't really developed, and that doesn't really pertain to Deku because he's like, what am I gonna train? I mean, I can't train machines, so he's just gonna be like thinking of other ideas, I guess, or other machines or inventions. So I think that's what he would be doing, and I think he would just do physical training, that's all. So yeah, or stamina training, physical training, or anything like that, or weapons training and all that stuff. Or just trying to think of different battle strategies and just being prepared for different situations. Like a person who has like a metal quirk or metal bending quirk, he wasn't really prepared for that. So he's like, he learned from that experience. He's like, okay, I need to like prepare different suits for different situations and different quirks. So he'd probably just think of different ideas and then just start working at it. I think it would have like a portable workbench or something. And I also think since he has a quirk, he would just fly over to his like office or something and then just fly back. So yeah, Steve would do the same training that Deku did, just physical training and that's all stuff. and maybe some accuracy training or something like that, but just to improve his like fighting style and physical strength or durability to contain one for all, and that's all. And everybody else would do the exact same training, but a little bit more of the same training that they were doing in the special attacks training. So for example, with Momo, she would try to create 2 different things at the same time, or with Todoroki, he would try to actually use both elements at the same time. So he would do all that type of training, and I think they would get into the ultimate move aspect, but just a little bit until the villain attack happens. So let's say Deku is actually on his trips and going to his office to create something new. So let's say he's not there until the villain attack happens. So the villain attack happens, they're doing this exercise or whatever not, and the assessment or whatever, or the fun exercise they were doing. So they go inside the forest just like that, and Class 1B tries to scare them and all that stuff. So some people get attacked and all that stuff. So Steve would be the one who actually says, oh, I know where Koda is, and he'd probably follow Koda to the hidden or hideout or whatever, but he would like follow him and he's like, okay, let me talk to you and all that stuff. So he's like, here's dinner and all that. So he'd like, it's like, I know where he is, and he would probably go there with one for all, and he would just go there. Everything happens exactly the same until Deku arrives. So this is the point where he actually comes back. He sees let's see, he sees a group of people like Todoroki, Tokoyami, Bakugo, and Steve. They're just walking, and I think they're also they're about to meet with Uraraka, and I think Mr. Compress actually does a sneak attack and takes Tokoyami and Bakugo at that time, and that's exactly when Deku comes in. He's like, what the hell's going on? And there's fire and all that stuff. He's like, oh my god, is this a villain attack? How's this possible? It's like, All Might isn't with us, because he knows that All Might is like a attraction for villains. So he's like, okay, All Might's not here, or well, how'd they find out we were here? This is like a secret thing. But then he's like, what's that dude who's flying? It's like, he's not a hero, he must be a villain. So he attacks him, and then he sees him taking like he sees Tokoyami and Bakugo like transforming into these like marbles and just floating up to this dude. He's like, oh my god, he's capturing them. And I think he would like shout out, he's like, hey, Todoroki and Soji and whatever who was over there. And I think they wouldn't really hear him, because they were like, oh my god, Uraraka's in trouble, and they would go attack them. And yeah, so he would just like be aerial fighting with the Mr. Compress and all that stuff. So from his training, he would probably like, okay, I created these new inventions and all that stuff. So he'd attack him with those, and new suits would just like come out of his like but his arc reactor. He would find a way to put different suits or multiple suits in the arc reactor, so you can just choose or like swipe through different suits, whichever one he wanted. So he could actually have like this shadow clone movement thing that going on, and he can just completely overwhelm the other person. And he would be like, oh my god, what is this? Did he just like clone himself or something? And he would probably get taken down by like a back attack, or he probably didn't know like there's like this certain hole in the suit that has like a different like firing difference, and then he would probably get shot down, and then he would take the marbles, destroy them. Bakugo and Tokoyami would pop out, and then I think he would just tie him up or something with like special rope that completely ties him up or stops him, and electrocutes him whenever he wakes up or something to knock him back down. So yeah, so the only villains right now are left right now is Dabi and Twice, and also what's that girl's name, the girl with the blood and stuff, and the quirk to transform to anyone when she drinks somebody's blood. Okay guys, I'm gonna leave the ending for the first training camp, because I haven't really thought of anything right now, so I'd rather just leave it there because it's 13 minutes. And I hope you guys like, because it really does help the channel out. Make sure to subscribe to join the family and hit the bell icon for the future. And now let's get to the intro. I mean, wait, what? And Anime Junkie out.